legislator is from, his family's from Cape Verde, his mother's from Cape Verde, and he's the Speaker of the House. Now, how did that happen? That happened over time. Cape Verde is assimilating in this country and playing the game in terms of electoral politics. There's also one Cape Verdean in the city council in Kentucky, Jean-Philippe Ballas. So at least he's African. He understands that one city council in the whole state, which is a travesty. There's got to be about 10. And before I finish talking, we're going to put together a plan to do it. All right? I'm a founding member of the African Alliance of Apollo Races. I believe in Africa. All right. So we have to make sure that we leverage our numbers. We can't let people dictate to us, tell us what we're going to do, how we're going to do it, how high we're going to jump, what we're going to swim through. Those days are over. Slavery's over. Hate to tell you, that's over. That's gone in the USA. That's over. We control our own destiny. We have the numbers, and we're going to exercise that political power very soon. And I think there's some politicians that understand that we're a sleeping giant. Trust me. Now, African Alliance. There was some years ago, we said we need to put somebody on the Providence School Committee. No Africans on the Providence School Committee. None. So we put together an effort to elect a young man, and guess what? He was appointed by the mayor. You know who that was? Marlon Toure. Marlon Toure from Gambia. Was on the school committee for a while. All right, but the African Alliance, us Africans, that's 40 countries, possibly 50 to 75,000 people said enough is enough is enough, and we want one of our own to be in government on that school committee, Mayor Cicilline, and we demanded it. And he did it, because he knew. And if he didn't do it, there were consequences down the line. Consequences down the line, he knew. He was smart, especially now fighting for his life in the Congress. Now, we have Julius Kalala, our president here. We focus on health. I'm not going to steal his thunder. I'm going to let him talk about that. We also have an African Youth Development Initiative that's going to be launched on June 9th. We have the president, Conway Soul, and Padre Ola here, and they're going to be talking about the youth. You know, with you, we're going to launch that. And I've been over the African Alliance since it began, because I understand that we have about 50,000 Africans, maybe 32,000 voting age Africans in the state, and that is enough to turn elections at every level, from the school committee to the governor's race. They have to pay attention. They've been skating through because we've been asleep. But when we wake up, then they're going to be tripping all over themselves to come to the 9th annual conference of the Pan-African Society of Rhode Island. They'll be tripping all over themselves. They're lining up. You know, oh, can I speak? You know, they'll be beside themselves. They'll be lined up because you will have political power, at least economic and social power. Now, I mentioned the NAACP and the coalition building process. Now, I'm trying to do that as a son of West Africa, a son of Cape Verde. My father was born in Cape Verde. My mother's parents were born in Cape Verde. My second vice president was born and raised in Cape Verde. I got to put my money where my mouth is, right? I grew up in Boston, in an African-American community. We have to reach out to the African-Americans. We have to reach out to Latinos. We have to reach out to the Native Americans and the Southeast Asians, because you put those groups together, and that's 25% of the state, 1 out of 4. That's a huge number. So I spend all my time coalescing with those different groups, because 1 out of 10 is not going to get it, but 1 out of 4, that's power. And that's what we have. 25% of the state is people of color. All right, so my first vice president is born and raised in Cape Verde. My executive secretary is from Zimbabwe, born and raised, well, I say Rhodesia. He said, no, Jim, it's Zimbabwe. I said, well, you're old enough to have been in Rhodesia. But he's from Zimbabwe. That's my executive secretary. My legal redress chairperson, one of my key people, is from Liberia. All right? From Liberia. It's a predominantly African-American group, but now the Africans are easing into the NAACP big time under my presidency, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing, because they're 100 years old, and they're coming on themselves to get to our event. So we're going to join forces. Now, we had an award ceremony last year. We gave out 7 awards, 3 to Africans. Julius Kalala was 1 from Nigeria, right here, president of the Alliance. Louis Stokes, born and raised in Cape Verde, was the 2nd one. And Cliff Montero, who's of Cape Verdean descent like me, was the 3rd one. And if that wasn't enough, my keynote speaker, get this, I flew him in from Detroit. He's the publisher of the Michigan Chronicle. His name is Bagley Thompson. You know where he's from? the Gambia. From the Gambia, he was my keynote speaker at my dinner, which attracted over 300 people, with politicians tripping over themselves to get there, just to be safe. And the keynote speaker wasn't from here, but I think you know, thankfully Thompson, the rising star of the Gambian community, national. Now, we had a breakfast yesterday. I just mentioned that. We had breakfast, and we continue with this. The keynote speaker yesterday was a young man from Angola, Angola. And only see people will never be the same. You're going to have to do something with me because I'm too Africanized. Angola, was the keynote speaker. So I'm trying to say we got to build relationships. African-American, at least black people. And then go to Latinos, but mostly are black people. The Yoruba and Puerto Rico and other areas like the Dominican Republic. We know that. So we got to form alliances there and with the Southeast Asians and the Native Americans and whites that are friends of Africa. We must form that, but we cannot go anywhere. We have numbers, but numbers not great enough to do anything. Now, housing. I've been around housing for 14 years, and the information that I have is valuable. You know, our mortgage interest rates are 1% lower than any bank or mortgage company in the state. 1%, you know what that means for the average mortgage? You're going to park at $200 a month savings. Why pay extra money for a mortgage when you don't have to? Call me and go down the house and I'll help you out. All right? I'll take care of you. But more importantly, you have a lot of people in Woonsocket live in a 3-bedroom apartment. Now, I don't know what the average rent is, but I know the average rent for a 3-bedroom in Rhode Island is $1,600 a month. The average rent is $1,600 a month for 3 bedrooms. All right? I know that if you buy a $200,000 house, which the majority of homes now are selling about that because of the way the price has come down, with the kind of interest rates that us and others are giving out, you know what the mortgage amount is, principal and interest per month on a 3-bedroom, $200,000 house? It's $1,100 a month. $1,100 a month, so you gotta buy and not rent. If you're gonna save $500, you can partner the difference. That's economic power. I mean, this group understands that. If there's one African group that understands that, what I'm just saying is this group. There's about 20 groups of African associations in Rhode Island. This group understands economic leverage better than anybody. But you gotta go deeper than that, further than that. You go to Rhode Island house and get that mortgage for a 3-bedroom house and save $500. Don't rent. I don't care how many people are in that house. You can send my people in that home. Just put the mortgage up. I don't care. Now, that's wealth creation in America. You gotta create wealth in America because that's what people do to finance education and other things. Now, if you have a house and you're in trouble, then we have a hard to sit fund. And guess what? Let's say you have a job, you lost your job, and you're a homeowner. Did you know you can call a number, 277-1500, it will help you? You don't have to be behind. Did you know that? Just have lost your job, you're a homeowner, you call the number 277-1500, and we will help you. I'm sure that almost nobody in this room knows that. And people are losing their homes, and they don't have to lose their homes. It's all about the information. I have the information. Call me, talk to me. I'm a friend. I'm with everybody here. And if you have another tragedy, medical, whatever, you can visit our website, hhfri.org. hhfri.org. There's no reason why anybody should be losing a home to foreclosure with Rhode Island housing in the place, in town. No reason. No reason. If you have problems behind your mortgage, give me a call tomorrow. Now, business development. I know in the African community there's an entrepreneur spirit unlike most communities of immigrants. There's an people want to be entrepreneurs because they were entrepreneurs back in the motherland. You know, they didn't work a job, they had their own businesses. And that's what it's all about. Do you leverage economic power? Well, did you know here, we have groups like the Small Business Administration that guarantees loans for you. A bank that might feel you're too risky, if the SBA guarantees it for you, they'll give you that loan. That small loan you might need to promote your business. And some people in this room have businesses, and you're not maximizing your opportunity because you don't know about the Small Business Administration, or as we call it, the SBA. Also, there's groups that give out free advice, free technical assistance. Nothing wrong with free. Free good? How's free? Is free all right? I guess so. Center for Women and Enterprise, the SBDC at Johnson & Wales, and Progresso Latino have free programs to help you with your business. And a lot of people here are entrepreneurs. All right, so that's business. And last but not least, jobs. Jobs, jobs, and jobs. Everybody talks about jobs. You can't get away from the news without people talking about the job report. Barack Obama, up and down, unemployment rate, around, what's going on. Jobs. Everybody's up against it with jobs. That's an issue for everyone, black, white, Hispanic, doesn't matter. I'm here to tell you there's a group called the Rhode Island Affirmative Action Professionals. We have matched up with 60 companies and institutions and agencies, and they give us job postings they give nobody else. Because they can't afford it. They do it through email with us. I'm the president of that group. And we know what I do with it? I have a database of 1,000 people of color. Everybody's of color on that list. And about, I'd say, 70 Africans are on that list, statewide. I let them know each and every day where the jobs are. And I'm telling you, go in that province journal, you're not going to see it. You go online, you're probably not going to see it. You're never going to see it. It's not that you're not qualified, you just don't know about the job. I came from Boston. And I got a job in East Providence. And it wasn't because I wear nice suits and root for the Red Sox. It wasn't because I didn't know anybody. Not one person. And this is Rhode Island. But they put an ad in a paper in Boston that I saw and I applied. But those days are over. They don't put ads in papers anymore. All right, so the game has changed. You gotta change with the game. And we know the game. We know the game. You gotta deal with us to be on top of the game. All right? So that's jobs. And I'm not gonna go any further because we got enough people following me. I've said enough. You know, I'm excited to be here. I thank you, my First Lady, Diana. Abney over there, wave with Diana. Wave. She's here. And she supports me, and I support you. And we'll continue to do so. So thank you very much. And if there's any questions, I'll be glad to entertain them. If not, have a great 8th annual conference.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you. All right. Hey, I'm going to appeal again. I'm going to appeal again to everybody. I know we love our kids and all that stuff. But please, it's getting disruptive, and I'm asking that you please keep it down so that we can benefit from the good information that this conference brings you. First of all, I want to thank Jim for that wonderful presentation. Thank you, Jim. Thank you. Give us a minute before you go, please. I also would like to entertain, are there any questions for Mr. Vincent? He spoke about some very important things. I'm sure that some people may have missed some of that, but he talked about housing, he talked about jobs, he talked about being united, being a forceful front to contend with when it comes to politics, and how do we put ourselves together and strategically position ourselves for success. Are there any questions for Mr. Vincent? Any questions? No? What question? Any questions for Mr. Vincent? Okay. I have one. Okay. And that is membership to the NAACP. How does one go about becoming a member?
I want people to understand that because we're trying to make sure we get as many members as possible. Our membership rate has not changed in 20 years. It is still $30 a year. And the best way to connect with that is to connect with me. I'm going to give you 2 numbers. Call me. And call me now. Put it on my voicemail. It is 401, of course, 261-0174. It's 261-0174, and the other number is 457-1144. And that's not just for membership, but that's for the housing, the business, the voting, all that stuff. We're doing things here. We want you to be a part of it. I'm serious, I know you're serious. Also, my email is jvincent, JVINCENT, at Rhode Island Housing, spell Rhode Island out.org. And I will get right back to you. I thank you, Mike.
Thank you. Yes. Jim, I have a question for you.
Hi, my name is Skyline. I'm from the benefits of being a member.
Good question. Thank you.
I always like to think about what John Kennedy said when he was president. Ask not what the country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. We're an all-volunteer volunteer organization. And with membership in numbers, to get the word out in terms of advocacy. When things go down, like racial profiling and voter ID, you know, we are able to put position papers out there, but all of that takes money. All right, for me to function, I have an office. I have an office that costs, I don't know how many thousands of dollars a year, and we're an all-volunteer organization. We get no grant funding, no paid staff, all volunteers. So in order to keep the office running, we take those little donations so that we can keep running it. So we're going to keep the office running so we can speak out. I'm speaking out today in a forceful way with flyers and mailings and everything else that we have to reproduce and make copies and everything like that. And that's what you get out of that, knowing that you help black people advance in Rhode Island, being a part of that struggle and that advancement, knowing that. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Yama, for asking that question. And again, okay, we have another question in the back. Hold on.
How do you get funding for the organization?
Excuse me?
How do you fund the organization?
Well, the organization, our phone number is 522-6215. Funded? Oh, we fund it through donations. Well, actually, what we do is membership, but it's not just membership. We have a Freedom Fund breakfast, which we had yesterday, and we have a Freedom Fund dinner, which we're going to have, and everybody's invited on November 2nd. Through those two fundraisers, we have a couple other smaller ones, and through membership donations, that's how we fund the organization. Just on donations alone. Yes,
thank you. Good question.
Okay, I have a question about the candidates that you were talking about, those that are running, because most of the time we don't even know them. So what are they doing to reach the African community, you know, just to keep us aware that they're running?
You know, not knowing what's happening in Woonsocket, but from what I've heard, they're not doing anything. All right? And yet they're number 7 on the city council. They're number 5 on the school committee. They don't pay attention, as far as I know, I might be wrong, to the African community at all. They're like invisible. You don't count. You know, they don't. I mean, I'm saying that what's ironic is that if you really wanted to, you got 4,750 eligible voters, I think, of color, mostly African. You could throw all 7 of those councils out, and all 5 school committees out, put 7 Senegambians in the council, 5 in the school committee. If you had a coordinated plan, the numbers show you could control the council and the school committee. You wouldn't be asking that question because then you'd have the other community, the French Canadian community, asking what you Africans could do for us. You guys control the city. It'd be the other way around. We'd be in the power, they'd be coming to us because we have the power. But right now, we're invisible. Not one councilor out of 7. And you don't, I'd say 20% of Woonsocket is people of color. 1 out of 5, not one person on the city council, not one in the school, nobody close to being on it. You have 1 Southeast Asian woman on the school committee. So at least you had that. But she's from, I think, Laos. I'm sure she loves Africans, but, you know, I'd rather have a Senegalese or a Gambian on that school committee and on that city council. I feel more comfortable and I feel more empowered to see that, and I'm willing to help do that. Because I think that Senegambia's time to be on that city council, be on that school committee, and also run for mayor even, or make sure he's held accountable, Leo Fontaine, so that the goals and aspirations of Africans that never again are ignored and disrespected. The numbers are here. If you just allow people to walk all over you, and I'm saying that with respect, then people are going to do it. That's the American way. I'm telling you, my family's been here 100 years on both sides. We understand this country. We understand it well.
Thank you, Jim. I know you have another commitment and you would like to leave. Before you do that, may I ask for can you keep it down, please? Like, Jim, on behalf of the Pan-African Association of Rhode Island, the Pan-African Society of Rhode Island, we have a presentation for you. On behalf of the executive committee, on behalf of our community, on behalf of the leadership, we would like to recognize you with this flag, and I want to thank you for your presence and all of this. Thank you, Jim.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. We're going to move right along. Jim, I know you said that you have some other commitments. So
for the Arabic classes. So if you want to attend, please you can call URI or Rhode Island College. They will help you out. Assalamu alaikum.
Good information. Thank you. But for the African community overall, he is the founding father of the African Alliance of Rhode Island. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Colawale.
Thank you, madam. Thank you. I promise you I will not take that long to say a few words I have for you. And I know the gentleman next who is coming to speak with you would like to get out of here as early as possible. Let me begin by saying thank you. This is wonderful. This is my 5th year attending your event. This is the biggest in the last 5 years. So delighted to be here, delighted to see a lot of faces that are familiar, and delighted to see the growth of the organization. I think my congratulations goes to Ray and the executive committee and everybody here from the Gambia community. The second point I'd like to make is to also recognize Yasin Kore. Yasin is a member of the Board of African Alliance. And the other person is Kaba Diouf.
Kaba Diouf, Yasin.
Yes, these are members of the Board of Directors of the African Alliance.
All right.
Shebele bawa tuluwaje. Ṣebẹ́lẹ́ báwa tó lù wájé, ṣebẹ́lẹ́ báwa tó lù wájé. Tẹ́ bá ń dìbò lọ́wọ́ ẹ má jòjòrò, tẹ́ bá wọlé tán ẹ má bàlújẹ́ o. Ṣebẹ́lẹ́.
A lot has been said already, so I will make sure I don't go into all of that. But to also say, in the past 5 years, the African Alliance has benefited tremendously from Pan-African organization. We get to invite them to every event and they show up. So to you, Ray, I say thank you for bringing all the Gambian community or the Pan-African to our event. I'm going to make one quick comment on a lot has been said about voting bloc and being relevant. I'd like to just say to everybody, there are some of us who have been involved in this political process for such a long time. And if you know of anyone on subject who is interested in this, please let us know. In fact, there are some states that say to us, they are too white, they like it colored. So they are already looking for us, just for us to step forward and be ready. That's the key word. We need to be ready. For many of us who don't like politics, I'd like to just remind every one of us. It is true, it is very true, that politics has nothing to do with you, except if you drive, if you use a toothpaste, If you sleep on a bed, if you eat, if you breathe in this country, then politics has to do with everything in your life. Okay, so we need to be relevant, we need to be part of the process. I will talk about the next event that is coming. Again, I know time is an issue. Every year we work on this process, and this year we are celebrating the 7th Annual African Health Summit. We are encouraging all of us to come. Please come, and I will tell you what is going to be happening. In the morning, we have a panel which is going to talk to us about the health reform. Like this new law, how that affects you and your family. There is a group that is coming to educate us on that. It concerns you, it concerns me, so please do your best to come. The afternoon is a breakout session. We have 4 workshops. One is healthy women. Let me talk about that briefly. The workshop focuses on our women, African women. In the room will be women only and doctors, women only. So you can talk about whatever is on your mind, freely and openly. Second, there is African men. Healthy men, I'm sorry. There is healthy men. The same way, there will be all men only and doctors. In the past, we usually have about 10 to 11 medical doctors, and by the way, about 4 out of 5 of them are African. So there are a lot of African medical doctors. The third workshop is, and I don't know if any of you know the answer to this question. Do you know where the food you eat comes from? Any of you? You know how many miles it travels? You may need to find out. The last one is, again, something that affects every one of us. Air qualities and your health. I want to repeat that. Air qualities and your health. So the day is about your health. Your health is your wealth. You need to take care of your health. And the last thing I want to touch on today, there is, I think I will recognize before I let them say 1 or 2 words. I'd like to bring Kamla. Kamla Shaw, will you come up here? I'm going to take a minute of my time and let Kamla speak. Kamla is the president of the African Youth Initiative and extension of the African Alliance. So I'm going to let them speak.
I'm very excited to be here tonight to see my fellow Africans. There is real excitement because where we are, we just see few Africans around, and coming here and looking in the room and seeing a lot of people, I'm really excited to see a huge African community in Lusaka. I'll talk a little bit about our group. It's a newly established group that focuses on network building, promoting African issues, and addressing some of the issues affecting African youth in Rhode Island. So we have a lot of Africans from different countries, even Latinos who are part of the African, African descent, or even Cape Verdean who have that African connection are part of our group. So we want to have everyone who have that African connection to join our group. So if you are here tonight as a young person and you are passionate about African issues, we welcome you on board. This is a youth network that is really passionate about addressing issues affecting African youth. So I'll pass the mic over to my friend who is going to talk about our upcoming event, which will be held on June 9th.
Basically, our lunch program, we're gonna have like a lunch program that's gonna basically launch the group to everybody having, hopefully, and it's gonna be June 8th, and hopefully we get to talk about stuff that happens to African youth. And when I mean African youth, I don't mean Nigeria, I don't mean Gambia, I don't mean Senegal, I'm talking about African. When I say African, it's everybody. So hopefully we get to talk about
But once again, please, as a young person in this room, please join us. This is, I call this a revolution, you know, to bring a change to our community. Like what Vincent said, we have a voice, but we are hiding ourselves. So I encourage all the young people in this room to join us to be that voice of change. Thank you so much.
What is the age limit?
Round of applause, please, guys. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much. And to our youth group, who now let us know we are old, but that's fine. I do have a few flyers. I don't have that many. My life. Okay? I look forward to meeting with all of you again, and thank you for this excellent event.
Thank you.
dafa nekk ci Heritage TV bi ku nekk Rhode Island ku ne dina ko nañ wax ban bés lañ ko télévisé léegi mu ngay jeexal fu mu nekk nii dinañ ko jox may la moo after bu may la waxee ba pare moom mu dem ñu interview ko ba pare dinañ ko jox kenn muy Tidiane wala ñu jox ko Matar ñu boole ko moom wala Moussa Cissé ku mën a doon rek ñoom itam ñu am interview bu ndaw waaye dañ ko génnee si télé bi ba pare dañ leen ko wax ba pare su loolu passé ñu lay ñaan ñu toog rek dem jeex léegi tey mu jeex ñu jox la 1 hour moo ñu dese ba pare suñ gars yi ñu fi kunte kinte baan ñu ngi ne si koona bi ñoom ñoo ñëw tegal yu neex di ngeen ko laaj man gisoon naa leen fekkee naa seen question ngeen baalal ñu rek ci di des.
Thank you. All right, moving right along. He is the Executive Director of Oasis International.
Thank you, madam. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Maurice Akim Ari. I'm the Executive Director of Oasis International. We've been around for the past 23 years, serving the interests of the African immigrant in Rhode Island. Some of the areas that we specialize on is the youth program, working with our youth, bridging the gap between the youth and their parents. We've been around helping the youth to understand the culture of this country, mostly the African youth. We focus on the middle school and the high school. And again, we have added on the African young professionals. Those kids that graduated from our programs, now they are out of college and they are working. They are back in the community. Now we recruit them as the African young professionals because they know about Oasis. The idea of Oasis is giving back to the community. We've been here for so long, and we talk about something that can we do, to give back to this community that has been so nice for us. And that is why we form Oasis. Initially, we start with the credit union. We had a credit union for 5 years, but apparently it didn't work because people borrowed the money, they didn't pay it back. We have to close it off. Having learned that lessons, we now come back into financial literacy program. With financial literacy program, which can be very helpful for me and you, because in Africa, we come from cash and carry economy. Over here, when we get to America, they spend credit card. And we keep spending credit card, and some of us do get into trouble because we do not understand the language of the credits. So today, Oasis has been working with the City of Providence, with the Diocese of Providence, that give us funding to do financial literacy program within the African immigrant community. So that is one of the major programs that we've been embarking on. The other program that we do is the culture. We try to protect the culture of the Africans. We have done that so well. I circulated some flyers, which is the African Summer Bash. If you look on the table, I believe for the give you a copy of the African Summer Bash. This will be the 18th African Cultural Summer Bash in Providence. We are collaborating with all the African organizations. Ghanaians, Liberians, Nigerians, and the nurses. Because one of the key things about this Summer Bash is to showcase our culture. The culture that we are showcasing is being funded by the Rhode Island State Council of the Arts. So today I will be working with some of the executives of Pan-American African organizations. How can we showcase Gambian or Senegalese culture during this event? We have worked with the Liberians in the past, we have worked with the Ghanaians in the past, and we have worked with the Nigerians in the past. So we are welcoming, the Pan-African organization to bring about the Gambians and the Senegalese culture to perform during this event. The event is July 28th, last Saturday of July. I'm hoping that we will see more people this year. It's been attended at least by 1,000, and if we are saying we have almost about 24,000 Africans in Rhode Island, how come we are having 1,000 attending an event that designated to African Cultural Day? So I'm appealing to all our brothers and sisters to please join us. One of the key things that Jim Vincent said a few minutes ago is about the politicians. The journey of 50 years can take you 5 years if you work with politicians. So when they come to this event and you are saying you have 24,000 Africans and they only see maybe 700, that is not good for us. So that is all the more reason why all of us as Africans, we need to find a way to work together. I'm sure there is a lot of African organizations and there's nothing wrong in it. But the thing is, when the issue comes up, which is our national issues, we all need to come on the table and work together. It is very, very important because, as they say in Africa, a stick cannot make a forest. All of us have to work together to find a way to solve our common problem. Believe me, there is a lot of it. And this is not something we can just solve at this event, but I'll be more than glad, to come back, to attend the meetings of the organization, so that at least we can table some ways, for us to collaborate together. Because, like I said, we've been around for 23 years, and we've been doing all this wonderful program, but we want to extend our hands, to this part of Rhode Island. We have not been doing that because this is my first time of coming to your event, and we are representing the interests of the immigrants. So I'm appealing to everybody to please, be part of what we do. If you don't know a lot about us, we have a website. You can check our website out. It's www.oasisinternational.net. That is our website. You can check us out. And we stop, so that at least I can entertain some big questions. Thank you very much, and thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Good evening, my name is Timi Amushan from African Heritage Media, comprising of television, radio, and newspaper. Today, I'm going to interview one of the leadership of the Pan-African Society in Rhode Island, and he's going to help us with a lot of things that we don't know about the organization. He's the vice president, and he's all the way from Puerto Rico.
No, Senegal.
Senegal! Oh!
No, Senegal, yes.
He's all the way from Senegal to witness this occasion, and we thank God that we said it's going to happen, and it has happened. And it has been a monumental success. It has never been like this. So please welcome my guest. You're welcome to our show.
Thank you, Bob.
Please, can you introduce yourself to my audience?
So, my name is Amadou Diallo. I'm originally from Senegal. So I came to this country in 1995. Yeah, and I've been living in Rhode Island since 1997. Yeah. And for the past 4 or 5 years, I have joined this Pan-African Society, and this is my very first time to join any kind of organization Africans have here, because I always heard a lot of them around, but I didn't hear any one of them that say something that was really, to me, was like constructive for the community. So,
what do you do yourself? What is your profession?
My profession? I work in an electronic field.
Electronic field, okay. When you work on an electronic field, well, I mean, how do you radiate within the African community? I mean, in short, how do you yourself benefit the African community?
That's basically what makes me join this community, because the program we have here is to help our community in something that is like more about surviving here in America. We do help our people, like for immigration. God forbid somebody get arrested for whatever, you're going to work or coming from work, going to the grocery store, and you get arrested, routine check, as they say, and found out you're not legal, and they arrest you for that matter. So we have a lawyer that works for that. And right now, before we used to take, we started for 1,500 to pay the lawyer, and the rest, the person himself or maybe his relative helping, and we go little by little, we reach to 2,500, 3,000, and this year we move up to 4,000 for the lawyer.
Wow, that is a monumental organization that has been the leading light for Africans, especially the Senegambia axis in the state of Rhode Island. I know I've covered a whole lot of organizations. I've never heard or seen one that is very close to its people like this organization. We have about 4 or 5 choices to do today, but I said, look, I've interviewed the now president, Jibril, on the radio, and what they do is just an eye-opener for me. And I said, look, if I'm going to have to cancel other events, I will be here, because they're doing something like you rightly said. I don't belong to any organization that is not useful to the people. But I'm very, very happy to be with this organization today, and we hope that you will continue to do a good job. But before I let you go, I know any organization will want to improve. What are the areas you would like to improve on?
So right now, as I said, we were working on like immigration matters. We're doing that already, and we already bailed out a few people out. Like last year, at least 3 people, we take them out of immigration arrest. And beside that, we do also, God forbid, we live and we die. If somebody passes away, we take care of all like funeral home and the flight ticket back home, wherever in Africa you come from. We take care 100% of that. And also, some people, we may get sick. Somebody, your doctor tell you you're terminally ill. If you don't want to really end up your days here, you want to go home, we give you a one-way ticket. It's all coming from our bank account. And all this money, we get it from the contribution we do. Men is $10 a month, women is $5. And we're moving up right now around $69,000 to $60,000 into our bank account. So that's how we help ourselves. It's just helping each other.
How do you call for membership? Are your membership, do they have to be in Rhode Island?
No, it's
everywhere.
It's statewide, yeah. The whole United States, wherever you are.
In the United States?
In the United States. Okay. Anywhere in the United States. Okay. If you're here, as long as your money is coming in, you're part of it. You don't have to be here every month to see us. But as long as your money, you're updated on the list. But you don't have to be later than more than 3 months. After 3 months, the rules are, if you don't pay and you actively working, which means you're still earning money, but you didn't want to contribute. If anything happened to you in between that time, we won't be able to cover it because you didn't want to follow up your contribution. That's just the thing is, principles. People have to respect it. It's $5, $10. If you're really working, it shouldn't be difficult.
Even if you're not working,
but $10 just to make it easier. You know what I'm saying? But if you lose your job, we understand because you don't have your job. That's what happened. Then we still back you up.
And I'm very, very impressed the way people have been coming forward to contribute their own quota.
Definitely, yeah.
When we got here, there's not a lot of people. When we got here, and everybody was very happy to contribute their quota. I think you guys are. I think the Senegambia Pan-African Society are doing a
it's a Pan-African society. It's not only Senegalese or Gambian. It's whole Africa. We have some people from Mali, some from Liberia, or even other countries. It's Pan-African. Wherever you come from Africa, you're part of it.
Please, I want you to reach out to other communities.
We are trying our best.
Because I do not see many Nigerians there, many Ghanaians there, many.
I know. We try, but
I know it's difficult. I'm from Nigeria, and I know how difficult it is to even call 4 or 5 people together.
I know it was last year or the year before. Jibril and I, we went to downtown. I think it was the African Alliance. They were getting together. So we spoke with the people, but our communities. Sometimes it's very hard. What you have to do to work on people to make them understand what you're doing. Sometimes people are trusting you, and but our thing is very transparent.
We have to continue to try.
Every month, when we get together, we have once a month meeting for the bureau, and the guy who do the audit and the treasurer, they bring the bank statement. We saw everything that happened. This is what we have last month. This is what we bring today. And we put it together. We're going to have this into the bank. And one person can put the money in the bank, but go there a long time to get money out. it's not going to happen. 4 people have to sign before money come out. Yeah, it's just policy to make people more reliable in what we are doing. You can put the money alone, but you cannot take it out.
When you put the money in, you got to get the receipt back, right?
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah. You drop the money and then we'll see it on the bank statement every month. This was put in there.
Well, I hope to bring you back on an elaborated interview that is going to last 1 hour. You and your organization, both Secretary, President, and Vice President, I am very impressed about what you do, and I've seen the quality of what you do in the quality of people that attended your program. This is the first time I'm attending this program, and I'm already impressed. And believe you me, it takes a lot to impress me. I am extremely impressed about what they've been doing together in the Pan-African Society. And from me and my crew, I'm saying goodbye and God bless. We'll be back with this Pan-African crew. Good night and God bless.
Thank you very much for
Thank you.
Thank you. Looking forward to seeing you again.
Thank you. We'll be there. And I might even be able to join you.
Hey,
you never know.
You're most welcome. Everybody.
Thank you very
Whoever
much.
you know, tell them to come join.
Thank you.
It's very beneficial for our community.
Thank you.
When I say community, it's all of us, all Africans. East, west, north, south.
We should be
We're all Africans. Yeah. Unity is strength.
That is very true. Unity is strength. That is the key word. Once again, thank you very much, and we'll see you in not so much distance.
Thank you, and God bless.
Bye-bye.
ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀lẹ́ bá wa tún lù wá jẹ. ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀lẹ́ bá wa tún lù wá jẹ. ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀lẹ́ bá wa tún lù wá jẹ. tẹ́ bá ń dìbò lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ mọ́ jòjòrò. tẹ́ bá wọlé tán ẹ̀ mọ́ bàlújẹ́ o. ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀lẹ́.